I want you to help in a little experiment, an experiment on our relationship to other. There are two parts of this experiment. The first part consists in something that you do yourself, and you will do now, following my very simple instruction, is that you will tickle yourself. Now try doing something like this, a tickling movement, and you observe the effect of this tickling movement, which is no effect. It doesn't give you any tickling sensation at all to tickle yourself. It's a bore to do so. Some of us scratches our head and it doesn't make us laugh at all. But now comes the next part of the experiment. You turn towards the person sitting or standing to your right side. And you tickle that person. Please start now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You will now notice that did make a difference, but you will notice there are people in this group who are not having all that fun, and those are the people who happen to sit at one end of the row. So will you now please turn towards the person sitting or standing to the left of you and tickle. Please come on. Thank you very much. Now, what is the point in this? What can you learn from this? The first thing is, of course, that it did make a difference whether you were tickling yourself or someone else was tickling you. Well, that is because our brain will always interpret whatever input comes into it before we are actually aware of that input. Think of you sitting in the U-Bahn tonight going home from this, and somebody suddenly tickles you. You will not laugh. You will run screamingly away. But somehow when we can all now reach out and touch the person next to us, and we'll feel that's nice, I like you to touch me. It means that already as we get the sensation, we interpret that this is benign, we like this, as opposed to what we would experience in the U-Bahn. So whenever we experience something, it's already interpreted for us. Try look around in this room, just sit and let your eyes wander around very quickly, and you will see that the room it stands still as it should. But then take your eye and your eyelid and take one finger and move your eye inside by pressing the eyelid a little, and you'll see the room jumping, because this was a surprise to your brain. The brain cannot account for the eye movement, while when you do the eye movement in the normal style, the brain will correct for it. So it tells us that an enormous amount of computational work, of information processing is going on in us all the time, so that we try to predict what will happen, and if we can predict what happens, it is not funny at all. And the great thing about other human beings, like in the tickling experiment, is that they do things that you did not expect. So the problem or the joy we can take from letting go with the control and opening up towards other people in compassion, in cooperation, in being together with other people, is that we lose control and gain joy. If we insist on having full control, we'll never have the joy. If we insist on having all the joy, we have to let go and let the control go, and that's very difficult to do all the time. So that is the lesson to take from the tickling experiment, and instead of applause, I suggest that you just tickle the person to your right side a little again.
Great.